Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Life here, and today we're here to review Hello Kitty Island Adventure for the Nintendo Switch. This review was originally written by Jess Elizabeth Reed for NintendoLife.com and has been adapted into this video by me. We've also learned at the 11th hour that Kate Gray, a contributor to Nintendo Life, has had a hand in this game's dialogue. Just felt it was important to make that clear. Alright then, let's dive right into it. Hello Kitty Island Adventure released on Apple Arcade in July 2023 to generally positive reviews, and a year and a half later, the Switch release brings a charming cast of Sanrio characters and their island resort to a wider audience, an audience ultimately in for a good time. This game opens up on a plane en route to a mysterious resort with lots of familiar faces on board. After creating an animal avatar, we soon found ourselves jumping at the plane and gliding to the ground with a handful of balloons. After touching down, we get our first major quest: find everyone who was scattered across the island during the descent. Despite having a big quest to start us off, the game gave us a refreshing amount of free rein to begin exploring and building relationships right off the bat. Within the first hour of gameplay, we had only tracked down a couple of lost characters, but had also picked up a handful of other quests and ventured into areas that we probably weren't supposed to have access to just yet. While we liked being let off the leash, we also managed to get pretty lost during the early gameplay from the sheer inability to focus on any one task. Hello Kitty Island Adventure has been noted as sharing similarities with Animal Crossing New Horizons, and there is an obvious inspiration in gathering mechanics, home decoration, and even the bubbly art style. But possibly even more noticeable though is the clear inspiration in exploration mechanics from Zelda Breath of the Wild. Our ability to scale cliff sides and swim underwater was determined by an upgradable green stamina wheel, and our handful of balloons acted as an at-will glider. Believe it or not, there were even dungeons with their own, only sometimes challenging puzzles to find and loot. The map itself had a surprising amount of depth, with different terrains like a swamp, desert, and volcano, and each time we thought we'd explored every corner, we'd find a new dungeon to delve into, circuit race to beat, or Gudetama to photograph. Quest lines unlocked at higher friendship levels with different characters opened up even more hidden areas and abilities, making the game feel just that much richer as we progressed through the storyline. Exploration is at the heart of Hello Kitty Island Adventure, but the game doesn't lag for other activities. We went fishing, caught critters, cooked meals, crafted items, played minigames, and rode minecarts. In place of currency, furniture and clothing items are purchased with specific combinations of items that can be foraged from around the map, and these items are also used for crafting, cooking, and gifting. The gathering of resources can feel like a bit of a grind, but everything regenerates each day in real time, and there's generally plenty to go around for those willing to put in the time. Making friends with a variety of cute creatures is paramount, since the main plotline quests are locked behind particular friendship levels. It's easy enough at the earlier levels of friendship, especially while being able to give each character up to 3 items per day. The higher we went, however, the more difficult it became to budge that hard meter, making this another area of the game that can feel like a grind. Luckily, making friends has the added motivation of upgrading characters' abilities for when they're asked to join in on adventures. We could have Hello Kitty herself hang out to increase our chance of producing extra food items at cooking stations, or have Karapi tag along to make catching bugs easier. We had a good time decorating our house and even putting together visitor cottages to entice new Sanrio characters to visit the resort, but ultimately didn't feel compelled to spend too much time at home when there was so much else to accomplish. The character creator, which could be accessed at any point in the game, was so much fun to play around with, and we found ourselves completely changing up our look multiple times. Customization options for attire was expansive as well, with clothes dyeing becoming an option later in the game. And then let's talk about performance. This game runs well on the Switch overall, but there were a few moments of frame lag as we ran around the expansive map, particularly when there was a lot of other moving objects on screen. The camera angle also ended up in funny positions at times, clipping our view of what was happening behind a tree or other visual obstacle. On the whole, these were minor occurrences that didn't drastically affect our play experience. So in conclusion, this game proves an innovative entry into the social sim genre. While borrowing from multiple powerhouse games, it brings a fresh experience that is likely to subvert the expectations of any Animal Crossing expats looking for their next cozy fix. We here at Nintendo Live give Hello Kitty Island Adventure for the Nintendo Switch an 8 out of 10. And now with the review done, it's time for Felix's personal thoughts. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and that was really the only thing I thought I knew about this game, that it was just going to be another Animal Crossing New Horizons. But it turns out it wasn't that. I was greatly surprised of just how different this game felt. It put emphasis on really making friends with the different characters on the island. That's how you progress the story. And also just the presentation and everything is really good. But I do also have some issues with it. For example, sometimes when you would run around, I felt like my controller didn't work properly. Sometimes it wouldn't correctly, like I would run in one direction and then try to run in another and it wouldn't completely pick it up. And also there's just a lot of graphical glitches or just, it doesn't run fantastic on Switch. I do really like the art style though. And like Jess said in the review, it's not anything that really impacts the experience. Well, the controlling did for me, and it didn't happen later. It was mostly just in the start, which was a bit weird. But yeah, I was just really surprised of how fun the gameplay loop overall was. It always felt like there was something to do. You get a new quest, and while you're doing that quest, you get another quest, find this item, talk to this character. Yeah, it's all blooming great. The map is huge. I went off on a little expedition early on and there was just, wow, there's a new biome. Wow, there's a new biome. And there's a lot to do in these biomes. You have these little races where you have to collect these little coins. There's loads of treasure chests so you can get items, and that's how you buy stuff in the game, which I think is really fun. Instead of having a currency, it actually incentivizes you to go out and collect all these items, even though there's an abundance of them all around. Now, unfortunately, didn't have enough time to really get deep into it, so I didn't quite feel the repetitiveness of having to give the characters gifts every day. I bet that could feel a bit tiring in the end if that's the only way you progress. Also, a thing I'd like to point out is that the day and night cycle doesn't reflect the outside world like Animal Crossing. Yes, you can only give villagers 3 gifts per day, real days. And there's also, like with items and stuff, what you can find that I think that respawns every single day. But the day and night cycle, if you sit and play it for an hour or something, you will go through this cycle. So it's not like you boot up the game at 3 p.m. and it's 3 p.m. in the game like in Animal Crossing. The music, it was really, really vibey and fit perfectly into the overall theme of the game. But anyway, those were my thoughts. Are you going to be picking this game up? Well, let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out our website, nintendolife.com, where you can find reviews like these, but in written form. Stay safe, play some Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and we'll see you in the next one. Felix from Nintendo Life, out.